Marcus wiped down the last table at Romano's Italian kitchen, his shoulders aching from the double shift. At 42, these long days were getting harder, but his 12-year-old daughter Emma needed new school supplies, and the rent was due next week. He untied his burgundy apron and folded it carefully. The fabric was worn thin at the edges, but it was clean and pressed, just like his white shirt. Pride wasn't about what you had. His father used to say, it was about how you carried yourself. The rain started as he locked the restaurant door behind him. Not a gentle spring shower, but the kind of downpour that soaked through to your bones in seconds. Marcus opened his umbrella and started the 15-minute walk to the bus stop. That's when he saw her. A young woman, maybe 25, sat crumpled on the wet pavement near the corner. Her cream-colored dress was already soaked, her dark blazer offering no protection. But it wasn't the rain that caught Marcus's attention. It was the way she sat, knees pulled to her chest, shoulders shaking with sobs that had nothing to do with the cold. Marcus had seen that kind of crying before. Years ago, when his wife left, when the weight of the world pressed down so hard you couldn't stand anymore. You just sat down wherever you were and let it all pour out. He walked over slowly, not wanting to startle her. "Miss," he said gently, holding the umbrella over both of them. "Are you all right?" She looked up, mascara streaking down her face, eyes red and swollen. "I'm fine," she whispered, but her voice cracked on a word. "Please, just go." Marcus stayed where he was. "I've got a daughter about to become a teenager," he said, crouching down despite his tired knees. "And my mama taught me never to walk past someone who needs help." He extended his hand. "Come on now, you'll catch your death out here." The young woman stared at his hand for a long moment. Then, slowly, she took it. Marcus helped her to her feet. She swayed slightly, and he steadied her with his free hand. "There's a diner around the corner," he said. "Let me buy you a cup of coffee. Warm you up a bit." "I can't," she said, her voice barely audible over the rain. "I have no money. I have nothing." "Did I ask you for money?" Marcus smiled kindly. "Come on. Nobody should be alone on a night like this." They walked to the diner in silence, Marcus keeping the umbrella carefully over her head while the rain soaked his left shoulder. Inside, the warm air and smell of fresh coffee seemed to break something in her, and fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. Marcus ordered 2 coffees and a piece of apple pie, sliding it toward her. "You don't have to tell me anything," he said. "But if you want to talk, I'm a pretty good listener. Comes with years of waiting tables." She wrapped her hands around the warm mug. "I lost everything today," she finally said. "My job, my apartment, my relationship. My fiancé emptied our joint account and disappeared 3 days ago. I found out this morning when I tried to pay rent." She laughed bitterly. "I'm a financial advisor. I help people manage their money, and I didn't see him stealing mine." Marcus listened without judgment. "That's a heavy load to carry," he said quietly. "But losing everything just means you get to rebuild without the dead weight." She looked at him, really looked at him for the first time. "Why are you being so kind to a stranger?" "Because someone was kind to me once when I needed it." Marcus said simply, "After my wife left, I was working 3 jobs trying to keep my head above water. A customer at the restaurant saw me struggling, gave me a tip that was more than I made in a week, told me to remember to pass it forward." He pulled out his wallet and placed 3 $20 bills on the table. "Get yourself somewhere dry tonight. Tomorrow you start fresh." "I can't take this," she protested. "You can and you will," Marcus said firmly but gently. "Consider it an investment. When you're back on your feet, you do the same for someone else." The young woman, whose name Marcus learned was Sarah, wrote her phone number on a napkin with trembling hands. "I will pay you back," she promised. "I swear it." Marcus just smiled. Take care of yourself, Sarah. 3 days later, Marcus was heating up leftover pasta for Emma when his daughter screamed from the living room. Dad! Dad, come here right now. He rushed in, heart pounding, expecting an emergency. Instead, Emma pointed at the television with wide eyes. That's her. That's the lady from the photo in your wallet. Marcus didn't carry any photos in his wallet except Emma's school picture. What are you talking about? The lady you helped. You showed me the napkin with her number and told me what happened. Emma was bouncing excitedly. Look, on the screen. Sarah sat in a television studio, looking composed, professional, in a navy suit. The banner underneath read, Sarah Mitchell returns, tech entrepreneur's comeback story. The interviewer leaned forward. Sarah, you disappeared from the public 6 months ago. Rumors said you'd lost everything. Now you're back with a revolutionary financial planning app that's taken the market by storm. What happened? Sarah's smile was genuine and warm. I did lose everything, she said. My company, my savings, my trust in people. I was sitting in the rain one night, completely broken, when a stranger showed me that kindness still existed. A waiter finishing his double shift gave me not just money, but hope. He reminded me that hitting rock bottom just means you can only go up. Her voice caught slightly. I've been trying to find him for months to thank him properly. His name is Marcus. He has a daughter named Emma, and he works at Romano's Italian kitchen. Marcus stood frozen, Emma gripping his arm. The phone rang almost immediately. It was his manager at Romano's, laughing and crying at the same time, telling him the restaurant phone was ringing off the hook with reporters. The next week was a whirlwind. Sarah found him, and she came not with reporters but alone, with tears in her eyes and gratitude in her heart. She'd used that $60 to stay in a hostel, where she met a former developer who believed in her app idea. Together, they'd built something revolutionary. I can't repay what you gave me, Sarah said, sitting across from Marcus at Romano's during his break. But I'd like to try. My company needs a director of community outreach. Someone who understands people, who sees them. The salary is more than comfortable. Marcus shook his head slowly. Sarah, I appreciate it, but I'm a waiter. I don't know anything about tech companies. You know about people, Sarah insisted. You saw someone who needed help, and you helped them. That's the whole mission of my company, making financial help accessible to people who need it most. I need someone who hasn't forgotten what that's like. Emma, who'd been allowed to skip school for this meeting, tugged her father's sleeve. Dad, say yes. This is your chance. Marcus looked at his daughter, then at Sarah, then at his worn burgundy apron hanging on the hook. On one condition, he said finally, you hire Marco, the line cook here. He's got 3 kids and talent that's wasted in this kitchen. Sarah smiled, the same smile that had been broken that rainy night. Done. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness create the biggest ripples. Marcus learned that the umbrella he'd held over a stranger's head that night had sheltered them both from life storms.